All right, let's talk about that moment. You're out with a guy, the conversation's flowing, the chemistry is undeniable, and you start asking yourself the million-dollar question: should I kiss him, or is he waiting for me to kiss him? When a guy wants you to kiss him first, one of the most telling signs is that he creates physical closeness and doesn't pull away. This behavior is a powerful indicator of interest, because physical proximity is one of the most instinctive ways humans communicate attraction. When someone is drawn to you, their natural inclination is to bridge the physical gap between you. They lean in, they find reasons to sit closer, and they orient their body toward you. It's not always overt or obvious. Sometimes it's as subtle as shifting his chair a few inches closer to yours, or mirroring your posture to create a sense of synchronicity. Let's break this down. Physical closeness isn't just about being near you in space, it's about how he chooses to use that space. If you're at a table and there's plenty of room, but he chooses the seat next to you rather than across from you, that's intentional. If you're walking side by side and he subtly matches your pace, allowing his shoulder to brush yours occasionally, that's not accidental. When a guy wants to be physically close, it shows that he's comfortable around you and is seeking opportunities for connection without having to verbalize it. Another sign is how he responds when that closeness increases. If you shift a little closer during conversation and he doesn't flinch, doesn't adjust his position and instead stays there or even leans in further, that's a green light. If you brush against him and he doesn't move away but instead smiles or engages further, that's his body language telling you he's into it. These small moments build a foundation of intimacy. And when a man wants you to kiss him, he'll use physical proximity as a way to invite that kiss without saying a word. Now, let's talk about what it means when he doesn't pull away. The absence of retreat is just as meaningful as the act of approach. If he allows his hand to linger when you pass something to him, if his leg is touching yours and he makes no move to shift it, or if his face remains close to yours in conversation without him stepping back, these are all nonverbal signals of comfort, interest, and even anticipation. He's not just okay with being close to you, he wants to be. He's signaling that he's open to more, open to escalation, open to connection, and maybe open to a kiss. This behavior becomes even more noticeable in environments where personal space is easy to maintain. For example, if you're sitting on a couch and there's plenty of room, but he still scoots closer, or if you're saying goodbye and he steps in just slightly more than necessary, that's a moment it's him breaking the social script. It's not just about logistics, it's about intention. A guy who's indifferent will respect typical boundaries. A guy who's hoping for something more, he'll test those boundaries in gentle, deliberate ways, hoping you'll meet him halfway. What's important here is that none of this feels forced. When a guy is into you and wants that kiss, the physical closeness feels natural. It's not invasive, it's not aggressive, it's warm, inviting, and paced just right. He's making it easy for you to lean in because he's already showing he's comfortable being close. That's what makes the moment feel effortless when it happens. And remember, this isn't just about body language on its own. It's in how it harmonizes with everything else he's doing, his tone, his eye contact, the way he listens. But proximity is often the most primal, gut-level signal. It's less filtered, more instinctive. A man can hide his words, but his comfort with being near you speaks volumes. These nonverbal cues often build up over the course of the interaction. A guy who wants to be kissed may gradually reduce the physical distance between you two. At first, it might just be him facing you fully with open body language. Then maybe his arm brushes yours as he laughs. Then maybe he doesn't move away when your hands touch briefly. These moments stack up. Each small touch, each lingering second closer to your face, each decision not to step back. They're like puzzle pieces, forming a clear picture of his intent. This behavior is even more obvious when you notice him being different with you than he is with others. Does he keep a polite distance when talking to friends but lean in with you? Does his body shift closer every time you speak, even when you're already near? If so, you're not imagining it. His body is gravitating toward yours because he wants connection. And if he's not pulling away, he's silently saying, I'm here, I'm open, and I'm waiting to see what happens next. When a guy wants you to kiss him first, one of the strongest and most emotionally charged signals he gives off is deep, lingering eye contact. It's not just about looking at you, it's about how he looks at you. Eye contact in these moments carries a silent language of its own. It conveys desire, anticipation, vulnerability, and a kind of silent communication that words often fail to express. When someone gazes into your eyes and holds that gaze, especially when the conversation pauses or slows down, they're saying something. They're allowing themselves to be seen, and they're hoping you see them too. This kind of eye contact isn't fleeting or accidental. It lingers just a second or two longer than necessary. He might look at your eyes, then glance down at your lips, then back up again. That glance isn't just instinct, it's intentional. It's the unspoken cue that he's imagining a kiss, wondering if you're thinking the same thing and trying to gauge whether the moment feels right. These micro expressions are part of the emotional dance that builds tension in the most magnetic way. When a guy holds eye contact with you in an intimate moment, it creates a sense of closeness that goes far beyond physical proximity. It's emotional vulnerability. He's not just looking at you, he's letting himself be looked at. He's staying present in the moment, not distracted, not checking his phone, not scanning the room. His focus is entirely on you, and that kind of attentiveness is rare and intentional. In the context of wanting to be kissed, this presence says more than any compliment ever could. You may also notice that this eye contact often happens during natural lulls in the conversation. Maybe you've both just laughed and now there's a pause. He doesn't rush to fill the silence. Instead, he looks at you, not nervously, not fidgeting, just stillness, just connection. That quiet space, held together by his gaze, becomes a moment pregnant with possibility. It's often in these small windows of stillness that attraction becomes undeniable. You feel it, he feels it, and his eyes are telling you he's hoping something more is about to happen. Another thing to pay attention to is the softness of his expression during this eye contact. His features may relax, his eyes might narrow slightly in a more focused, intimate way, and there's often a gentle smile that plays at the corners of his mouth. He's not trying to impress you anymore, he's just being with you. This unguarded moment of connection can be incredibly revealing. It shows trust, emotional availability, and that he's not afraid to let things get real, even for just a second. It's his way of saying, I see you, and in return, hoping that you see him. Eye contact also plays a key role in testing comfort levels. If he looks into your eyes and you hold that gaze without looking away, he sees that as a sign that you're engaged, that you're reciprocating, that the moment is safe to deepen. If you smile while maintaining eye contact, it sends an even stronger message. It says, you're not just comfortable, you're enjoying it. In that instant, the distance between you both starts to feel smaller, and a kiss becomes a natural next step rather than a leap. It's also important to recognize when eye contact is paired with silence and physical closeness. If you're sitting or standing near each other and he turns toward you, maybe leaning just slightly and then locks eyes without saying much, he's building tension. That space between words, filled only by eye contact, is where emotional electricity lives. It's not forced, not awkward, but charged with meaning. These are the kinds of moments people replay in their heads later, wondering if they missed a sign or an opportunity. Another subtle but telling behavior is when his eyes drop to your lips and then back to your eyes again. This is one of the most classic nonverbal signs of wanting to kiss someone. It happens almost instinctively, especially in a private or emotionally intimate setting. A guy who's trying to decide whether to make a move may repeat this eye pattern several times. He's checking to see if you notice. He's hoping you do, and he's hoping you respond in a way that gives him the green light, or maybe even make the move first. When a guy wants you to kiss him but doesn't say it outright, he often puts everything into his eyes. You'll notice he's not distracted. He's not breaking eye contact every few seconds or glancing at his watch. He's fully present, totally absorbed in the moment, and invested in what might happen next. When a guy wants you to kiss him first, he often starts expressing himself in ways that go beyond surface-level attraction. And one of the clearest signs is when he compliments you in a soft, personal way. These aren't the loud, showy compliments meant to impress or gain approval from a crowd. These are the quiet, intentional words designed to create a moment between just the two of you. When a man likes you and is hoping for more, his compliments become more thoughtful, more vulnerable, and more emotionally charged. He's not just saying, "You look good," or "nice dress." Instead, he might say, "There's something about your smile. It just makes everything around you feel lighter," or "I love the way you talk about things you care about. It's really attractive." These types of compliments go deeper. They're specific, and they reveal that he's paying close attention to who you are, not just how you look. And that attention builds emotional intimacy. When someone is hoping you'll kiss them, they know that physical closeness often follows emotional closeness, and these kinds of comments create the bridge. The tone matters just as much as the words themselves. When a guy wants to be kissed but is unsure whether to make the first move, he might speak in a lower, softer voice. He slows down. He chooses his words carefully, not to be calculated, but because he's present in the moment and doesn't want to miss his chance. You'll notice his voice becomes more intimate, more focused. It might feel like the rest of the world fades out a little when he speaks, like what he's saying is meant only for you. He may also use these compliments as a way to gently test your response. If he says something personal, like how he loves the way you laugh or how he admires your energy, and you light up, hold eye contact, or blush, he registers that. It builds his confidence. If you respond with warmth or give a compliment in return, the emotional space between you gets smaller. And as that emotional closeness increases, so does the potential for physical intimacy. Compliments in this way are like stepping stones. He's walking toward a moment, and he's hoping you'll meet him there. You might also notice the timing of these compliments. They tend to happen when you're already in a quieter, more private space, either physically or emotionally. Maybe you're on a walk and the conversation turns reflective. Maybe you're at the end of a date and things have naturally slowed down. In those still, subtle moments, his compliments become more meaningful. They're not about flattery anymore. They're about connection. He's not trying to win you over. He's trying to show that he sees you, really sees you, and hopes you see him too. These personal compliments may also be layered with admiration for something deeper than your appearance. He may comment on how you think, how you carry yourself, or the way you make him feel. For example, "I feel really calm when I'm around you," or "You make it so easy to be myself." Those words are powerful. They tell you that he's emotionally engaged and that he's experiencing something different with you than he does with others. That kind of emotional vulnerability, when paired with soft, direct compliments, is often a clear sign that he's hoping something meaningful and maybe romantic is about to unfold. There's also something to be said about how his body language shifts when he gives these compliments. He may lean in slightly, lower his voice, or make eye contact that holds just a beat longer than usual. These small changes reinforce the sincerity behind the words. His tone becomes more intentional. He may even get a little nervous, which can show in a slight laugh, a pause before he speaks, or a quick glance away after he says something vulnerable. All of these are signs that what he's saying matters to him. It's not just words, it's emotion trying to find a way out. And a guy is hoping you'll kiss him first, but isn't quite ready to initiate it himself. He often uses emotional expression to signal his readiness. And personal compliments are his way of gently laying down emotional breadcrumbs for you to follow. Each one says, I like this about you, I see this in you, or you make me feel this way. And all of them add up to one bigger message. I'm drawn to you in a way that's more than just casual. When a guy wants you to kiss him first, one of the clearest and most instinctive signals he gives off is through subtle, repeated physical touch. These aren't grand or obvious moves. He's not pulling you into an embrace or holding your hand in a dramatic way. Instead, it's about the small, almost casual moments of contact that seem to happen more often than chance would allow. He might touch your arm when he laughs, place his hand lightly on your back when guiding you through a crowd, or let his fingers brush against yours when you're both reaching for something. These are gentle, intentional gestures that serve as little invitations to closeness. Physical touch is one of the most primal and emotionally charged forms of communication. When someone is drawn to you and hopes to move toward a kiss, touch becomes a way of testing the boundaries between friendly interaction and romantic interest. A guy who's unsure about making the first move but wants to escalate the connection will often use these moments to create comfort and intimacy. He's watching how you respond, how you react to the closeness, and whether you welcome the contact or pull away. If you lean into the touch or reciprocate it, that's a strong signal to him that you're in the same emotional space. These subtle touches are often spaced out just enough to feel organic. He doesn't overdo it because he doesn't want to come on too strong, but he also doesn't avoid it because the impulse to connect physically is too strong to resist. It's not about sexual aggression. It's about emotional closeness. Maybe his knee lightly taps yours and he doesn't move it. Maybe he adjusts your hair slightly if it's in your face, or playfully nudges you when you say something funny. These little interactions are emotionally loaded. They're gentle ways of saying, I want to be close to you, without needing to put that desire into words. Touch also has the power to change the emotional atmosphere between two people. When a guy makes subtle contact and you respond positively, it creates a kind of energetic shift. The air between you changes. There's a spark, a moment of heightened awareness, and it usually happens in silence. Often he'll make a small physical gesture and then pause. He's feeling out the moment. He's asking a question without using words. Is this okay? Do you feel it too? Are we moving closer? That pause can be incredibly telling. If he touches you and then waits, looking at you, maybe smiling, maybe not saying much, he's watching to see if the connection deepens from there. There's also a kind of nervous confidence in these gestures. Even when a guy seems cool and composed, if he really wants you to kiss him and he's putting himself out there with touch, there's a vulnerable edge underneath it. He might fidget a bit after the contact or glance away quickly, or he might hold the contact just a fraction of a second longer than usual, waiting to see if you'll take it further. These micro moments are his way of meeting you halfway. He's hoping you'll feel the same tension, the same pull, and respond in a way that shows you're open to taking that next step. Sometimes the touch comes through shared objects or tasks. Maybe he hands you something and lets your fingers touch. Maybe you're sitting side by side and he casually places his arm along the back of your chair, not quite around you, but close enough that you feel the warmth of his presence. These gestures are calculated in a soft, human way. He's trying to be close without crossing boundaries. He's offering his presence, his interest, and a chance for you to engage with it. The consistency of the contact also matters. If it happens once, it could be accidental, but if it keeps happening, if the touch comes back again and again in slightly different ways, it means something. He's drawn to you and his body is expressing it, even if his words aren't. Each small touch is a step closer to a moment of real connection. It's a form of silent communication where his actions say, I'm open, I'm here, and I hope you're feeling this too. When a guy wants you to kiss him first, one of the most telling behaviors you'll notice is that he pauses or hesitates in moments that feel emotionally or physically charged, almost as if he's holding space for something more to happen. This pause isn't about awkwardness or lack of words. It's a deliberate slowing down, a hesitation that signals anticipation. He's not rushing to end the conversation, not quick to say goodbye, and certainly not stepping away when the moment feels close. Instead, he lets the moment breathe. He stays there, right in that pocket of silence or stillness, because part of him is hoping you'll take the leap. These pauses usually show up during emotionally elevated moments, right after a deep laugh, after a sincere compliment, or at the end of a meaningful conversation. You'll notice he doesn't immediately change the subject or reach for his phone. He stays present, looks at you a little longer, maybe even tilts his head slightly or shifts his posture, as if bracing for something. That little hesitation, where he's clearly not ready to walk away or break the connection, is his way of saying that the moment still has something left in it. He's waiting, just enough to see if you feel the same pull he does. What's so significant about this behavior is that it shows a willingness to be vulnerable without pushing. He's not grabbing you or leaning in without permission. He's just pausing, extending the moment, hoping it deepens. That takes emotional courage. It takes a certain kind of presence to just stay there and not fill the silence with chatter or nervous movement. He's hoping you'll notice that he's lingering, and that you'll recognize it as a kind of unspoken invitation. The pause becomes a doorway. He's not walking through it, but he's leaving it wide open for you. This hesitation often comes with a softening of body language. His shoulders might relax, his voice might drop slightly, and his facial expression becomes more still, more focused. He might bite his lip, glance between your eyes and your mouth, or give a small smile without saying anything. These subtle gestures create a quiet tension. The kind of tension that builds up when two people both feel something but haven't made a move yet. Not forced, it's not scripted, it's the natural build-up of emotional chemistry that hasn't been released yet. There's something incredibly powerful in that moment. When a guy pauses like that, he's telling you with his presence that he's open to connection. He's not running away from it. He's not afraid of the silence. He's letting the moment stretch because he wants to see what unfolds. This behavior is especially common with guys who may be unsure about making the first move themselves. They might be respectful, cautious, or simply nervous, but by hesitating, they're giving you a subtle cue that says, if you wanted to kiss me right now, I wouldn't stop you. You'll also see this kind of pause happen during goodbyes. Maybe you've spent time together and the night is winding down. He walks you to your door or your car, and instead of offering a quick hug and leaving, he stands there. He might say something like, well, and then not finish the sentence. He looks at you, he waits, he's not in a rush. That silence is where everything starts to feel heightened. In those few extra seconds, he's hoping something will happen, some kind of signal, some kind of move, maybe even a kiss. This moment of pause can also show up during physical closeness. If you're sitting side by side and he turns slightly toward you, and there's a second where he could lean in, but doesn't, just holds the gaze, maybe glances at your lips. He's right on the edge. That delay is his way of testing the waters, giving you time to lean in or make the move yourself. It's like he's stepping halfway and seeing if you'll meet him there. He's giving you space to respond because he doesn't want to misread or rush the moment, but make no mistake, he's hoping for something more. Often these pauses are filled with silent emotional energy. The moment isn't empty, even though no one is speaking. It's full of tension, of unspoken feelings, of possibility. And that's exactly why he doesn't rush it. He's not trying to break the spell. He's hoping you feel the same magnetic pull he does. That lingering pause, that breath held just a second longer than usual, is one of the most universal signs that he's hoping you'll be the one to close the distance. When a guy wants you to kiss him first, one of the most honest and revealing signs is that he gives you his full attention, especially in emotionally or physically intimate moments. In a world full of distractions, undivided attention is rare, and when it's directed at you with consistency and depth, it's a powerful indicator of interest. He isn't just hearing you, he's listening. He's engaged with your words, your expressions, your energy. He's tuned in, and that presence is his way of saying you matter, even if he doesn't put those feelings into words directly. This kind of attention shows up in the way he reacts to you. When you speak, he doesn't interrupt or check out mentally. He's watching you, nodding slightly, giving subtle reactions that show he's right there with you in the moment. If you're talking about something important, he doesn't brush it off or change the topic. Instead, he leans in, makes eye contact, and stays with you emotionally. That emotional investment says more than any compliment could. It shows that he values connection and that he's not afraid to get close, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. You may also notice that this attention extends beyond the conversation. He picks up on the little things, your mood, your body language, even the tone of your voice. If you say you're cold, he offers his jacket. If you look tired, he notices and checks in with you. This attentiveness isn't performative. It comes from genuine care. And when it's paired with romantic tension, it often means he's waiting for the right moment to deepen the connection. He's hoping something will happen, and he's showing you that he's safe, present, and emotionally available. One of the most intimate things a person can do is give you space to be yourself without judgment, and full attention plays a huge role in that. A guy who wants you to kiss him first but isn't ready to initiate it himself may instead create emotional space. He doesn't rush you. He lets you talk, share, think. He doesn't fill every silence. He listens without immediately responding, which creates a deeper rhythm of connection. That rhythm slows down time a little. It makes things feel heavier, more meaningful. And in that slowdown, he's hoping something will naturally unfold, like a kiss, without either of you needing to force it. Sometimes this kind of attention is most obvious in group settings. If you're out with friends and you notice that he's still tuned into you even when others are talking, that's telling. He might glance at you during funny moments to see if you're laughing too. He might direct his comments more toward you, even when speaking to everyone. These are small, often unnoticed behaviors, but they show that his focus is anchored to you. That anchoring is a strong emotional sign. He's signaling that you're different from the rest of the room. The way he listens also changes depending on how emotionally close he feels. As the connection deepens, so does the quality of his attention. It becomes softer, more patient. He's not just interested in what you're saying. He's interested in how you feel while saying it. He might echo your emotions, nod in empathy, or offer small, thoughtful responses. These reactions show that he's emotionally attuned to you. And when that attunement is paired with the kind of silence and stillness that often surrounds moments of potential intimacy, it becomes clear that he's hoping for something more. Even when neither of you is talking, you can still feel his attention. He might look at you during a quiet moment and not say anything at all. There's no rush, no filler, just presence. And that kind of presence is emotionally charged. It says, I'm here, I'm open, I'm waiting. If you return that attention, if you meet his gaze, mirror his calm, stay in that moment, you create a shared space that feels deeply intimate. And in that space, a kiss doesn't feel like a move. It feels like a natural extension of the energy that's already there. Sometimes he'll use that attention to subtly encourage a moment to linger. If you're close to each other, sitting or standing just inches apart, and he's looking at you, really looking, he's giving you the emotional and physical permission to act. He's not pressuring, he's not pushing. He's just staying there, fully present, fully aware, and hoping you recognize the moment for what it is. His attention becomes an invitation, a silent yes, a green light given without words. It's his way of saying, I'm here if you're ready.